Welcome to my channel, everyone. Dave Ganderos here. Gonna do a video today to summarize some charts in the cryptocurrency area. Be sure to consider subscribing and clicking the little bell if you want to be alerted when I put out some new videos. I'm gonna do a couple videos tonight summarizing a couple sets of charts that I have here. Be sure to check in the video description for timestamps if you're not if you want to go directly to a specific crypto. I'm going to go over 4 in this video, so it might be a little longer. And if you're not interested in them all, you can go and click on that timestamp to go directly to the crypto that you're interested in. So again, just make sure you look in the video description, click on the show more, and check out the timestamps, check out ways to contact me, check out some other opportunities I have. I did a little summary video earlier today of an opportunity that I'm in, and my path to 6 figures earning in that opportunity. So I share that on a daily, every couple days. When it comes time to compounding the account, I share that. So please consider subscribing to my channel, clicking the little bell, and you'll get alerted when I put out some new videos. All right, with that being said, let's move into the charts. Let's just start from left to right. All right, so this is the Cardano on the daily. Pretty much still sticking within the larger triangle pattern that we have here. Nothing really has happened yet. Let's drop down to a lower time frame. And you can see we're still in that pattern. Now again, you can go and you can kind of tweak this. You don't necessarily have to have it so far out. You're supposed to try to cut as many wicks as possible. And, you're going to have to just on a daily basis come in and check out what price action is doing and kind of just, make it a little bit better. So I'm going to take away this one because this one's out of play. You saw some resistance on the upside, so we might come back to that. But for now, it's already been broken, so we don't want to even consider that. So, with that being said, you could even go as far back as here, and just kind of tweak it and try to touch as many lines as you can, and that's going to be like, a stronger trend line the more touches it has. So, right now everything's weak, and that's because of the Bitcoin dump that happened earlier last night today. So there's some weakness in the market, and could be a good buying opportunity for you if you're a longer term holder and you want a dollar cost average into a position. This could be a good opportunity for you to do that. So this is the most recent setup here. There's really nothing else to share here other than just looking again at the pivot from low to high. You could see we're at the 6.5 again, 618, 6.5. So again, there's accumulation happening there. So far, it's being held up. You got some wick action going on here, but this is tending to be a pretty strong level. And as you can see here, if it's going to follow this trend line, it's the price is going to be starting to push back up. And if you're you just got to wait for the breakout again, upside or downside, depending on what you're playing. This pattern's still in play here, but I truly think that we're going to see a bounce here off this 6.5. But again, that's me being bullish. So just figure out what you're doing. I mean, there's different ways to draw things. So like even here, let me just hide. You could even say that there might be a wedge forming here. So, I mean, this is the bullish. If it is a wedge, it's bullish because downward pointing wedge is bullish. So, there's a number of ways to look at this price action, and you just got to kind of figure out the characteristics of the coin and what's its personality. So you got to kind of just follow it for a couple days, couple weeks, and start seeing how it reacts to things, and you're gonna start seeing how how the price action happens, and then you could kind of know its character, and you could see the influences it has when other coins are dumping, like Bitcoin's dumping. Is this going down? Ethereum's dumping. Is this going down? Is it correlated? Is it uncorrelated? Is it inversely correlated? You got to figure all that out for yourself. So there's nothing to do right now. If you're a bull, you're waiting for it to break this trend line before you'll be any trades on the upside, and you just got to kind of keep redrawing these to see where price action really starts respecting these lines. So that's all for Cardano right now. Let's move over to Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin, I drew this like in your video, and I'm like, holy crap, it's following it almost exactly. Then I really thought we were going to get a bounce here and it was going to start going up, but then the whales came in and dumped yesterday, as you probably have heard on various YouTube channels and articles that have been put out. They thought it was a dump. It turned out that it was a Gemini internal move of funds between wallets, but it's caused a panic and a scare, and there might be some F2 pool going on with the dump as well, though. And I think they're from some of the other YouTube channels that I've heard, they're thinking that maybe they're trying to hide their activity by using Ethereum to get onto the exchanges first, and then changing that over to Bitcoin and then dumping that. So unfortunately, there's a manipulation that's happening here, and there's nothing we could do about that. All we could do is kind of, like I said, if you took this trade, you should have had a stop loss here and you would have been stopped out and you could live to trade another day. Now you can see it's coming down further, and we just got to see where the dust settles here. Next area here of support is down here in the 53 range. So what we want to do here, I had this, I have this big Fibonacci on this pattern that hasn't finalized yet. It never made it up here yet, so I'm going to hide that. And what we're going to do is we're going to just put a fib on this pivot right here and see where we are. All right, so we're at the 0.5. So if you're playing a pure pivot, retrace, and buy, you're just breaching the area where, let's just move this. Let's move this over. Oop, what just happened? I don't know what happened there. Interesting. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see what happens here. Alright, I might have to start over a little bit here. Let me clean that up. Let's just hide this. And like we were doing before, let's add the fib. Go from here to here. Like I was saying earlier, you're approaching the range of where you could start cost averaging into a position if you think it's going to respect this 618, 65 area. Now you can see, this fork, this pitchfork that we have drawn here, it has, price has been reacting, and it finally met the median line over here, and now it's dropping off. But you'll see in the actually the Ethereum chart, I'll show you how it really, like, you could have taken some. Actually, I don't know why I have the extensions on here. We don't need that. It had some good reaction on this outer pivot, this outer pitchfork line, and maybe that's where we're headed here. Maybe we're headed to the 618, and it's also going to bounce off this outside pitchfork. So that's something to look at, something to consider as a possible price entry. Obviously, this is no longer in play because I thought it was going to be perfect. It was ironic how price action was going up and coming down. I'm like, oh my God, I just randomly drew this to show you how to make sure you check for the bounce, and it's going to do exactly what I drew, and then all of a sudden tank. So again, if you got into this trade and you didn't wait for this, if you waited, then you probably never got in. If you took this breakout, ideally you put the stop loss over here, so you might have lost a little bit, but you're not losing all of this in this entire move. All right, so that's really all I gotta say about Bitcoin. We gotta kind of just sit back and see what's happening here. See if it's gonna hold or if it's gonna come down further. 53 seems to be a pretty good level of support. So that is an area that you will possibly see a bounce or some support. So you might see it touch the 5.5. It's already breaking through to 0.5, so we're headed there. And so we just gotta wait. And it's up to you if you want to take trades. There's some kind of unknowns in the articles and all the nonsense and the manipulation. You just got to be careful, guys. Just be careful. All right, so next one is Ethereum. All right, so it was respecting this very well. I was going to show you how, we drew this pitchfork, and you could see all the balances and the support and the wicks and the other wicks and the wicks here and then the support here and the touch here. All of a sudden now we broke out. So this is the time where you consider adding the 0.25 to see if this will give you any area of support. So again, everything's breaking down. Everyone's getting scared. Everyone's getting they're hunting stop losses, and they're taking advantage of the people with high leverage who probably overextending their accounts. So again, just kind of sit it out, see what happens here, let the dust settle, see where this thing starts consolidating again and it starts moving back up. You might see something down here on this extension that I put on here. These levels here were levels of interest from previous pivots and support. So we might see some reactions on the price, bouncing off of it once the sell-off is done. Again, these are buying opportunities, so you shouldn't get scared. You should consider this an opportunity to possibly get more of Ethereum if you're an Ethereum, if you're interested in Ethereum. So what we can do here to kind of see where we stand, you always take the most recent pivots. So you can go from the low to the high. Again, we're only retracing off this immediate pivot going to 38.2. So we can go as low as 618. So I had this previously marked for a dollar cost average area, and also what you want to do here, since things have kind of matured a little bit with this pattern, probably want to bring that down there and bring this up here. And this is the new triangle that we're forming based on this high, this low, this next pivot, and then we're kind of estimating where this is going to go. For now, for lack of any other pivots here, we could possibly consider this as breaking down outside this triangle, because really you have that one and you have that one. You want to touch as many. I mean, I guess you could go and let me just move. Let me get these out of the way so I could do what I'm trying to do here. What a pain in the butt. I guess you could go and you could kind of take off the magnet and try to see how many touches you can get on the previous action. So there's a touch there. You got a touch through that wick. You got that wick. We could see what's going to happen here. So maybe this is the new adjusted level, that you want to consider for the triangle pattern. Maybe the triangle pattern is just going to go away soon. Maybe it's not going to be something that this price action is going to respect. So maybe this wasn't a true triangle pattern. You always have to have that in your back of your mind. And okay, well, if price isn't really reacting to these levels, then maybe this is a false pattern. Maybe this isn't really a pattern that's going to really take effect. So you got to kind of just play that by ear and continue to tweak this and look at the volumes to see what's going on. You can go down to a lower time frame to kind of see what's going on. Once you get those higher time frames in, you can see a kind of false breakout, So on the downside, this trend line doesn't seem to be really holding very well. So let's just kind of wait it out. If it comes down in here, it seems to be a good area to buy again. So it gets down as low as like 1600, from 1600 down to 1500. You know, that seems to be a good range to possibly purchase some more if you're in it for the long term. But you can see it's kind of bouncing off here, so we'll see what happens. We don't really know right now, so we got to just kind of stand by and see what happens. All right, so next chart, Link. So Link also seemed to be following what I drew here, and then all of a sudden, just like everything else, it just broke down. So this is obvious manipulation happening here. All the charts are acting the same way. Bitcoin led the charge, and everything followed its way down with it. So this head and shoulder pattern is gone. So I might as well delete it. No longer in play. So head and shoulders are not a high probability pattern. Wedges and triangles really serve you better in terms of patterns. W's are okay, but W's, again, it could be, once manipulation happens, everything's gone. But now what you will see though is we had these two pitchforks, and I mentioned that we got to see which one it's going to hold. Now it broke out of this. I mean, we could try to see if we add the 1.5 or the 1.75 if they're in play. We got some actions over here, and we might have, if it comes back up, it might stay within here. So this might be still in play, but you can see it actually is following. It came off here, came down, and hit the median line. So this downward pointing pitchfork, it has been respected. You see how it bounced off of there? You know, it's pivoting off of these. So it's funny how you throw them on there once the pivot happens, and then you stand back and you just watch what price action is doing, and you can kind of tell, you know, right now it seems to be following this one. So if this comes up and it's starting to bounce between this and this is going to develop into a triangle or a wedge, right? It's going to be a triangle if it happens. If it bounces up here and it starts forming here, then this will be a triangle, and we would, you know, anticipate, this is just a guess, right? But you could see something forming along these lines. You know, again, this is not there yet, but you could throw this on here and you could kind of see, okay, let's see what happens with price action. Let's see if it follows this pattern, if it's gonna if this trend line right here that I have drawn, if you look left, maybe it goes all the way back. Maybe, you know, that's not right. It wouldn't go there. Let's go up to a higher time frame. You know, this is kind of too steep. So possibly what's really going to happen, it might, you know, it might take on something along those lines. This might be the trend line that it's going to follow. So you'd have to just kind of play with this, and then maybe it looks more like this, you know, based on these previous wicks. This was a crazy one. There was two little wicks there. You know, there seems to be some stability there. We'll see if it stays there, if it breaks down. But this could be, you know, the wedge that's formed, the triangle that's forming based on the pitchforks and this extended back trend line. So again, we're in wait mode. If you want to see, let's go up to a higher time frame. See where we are in the pivot. Yeah, so we've almost 100% retraced this whole pivot. So you might have to take a step back even further, maybe on the weekly, and really see where you are in the broader pivot. So you come back here and you take a measure, move from here to here. You can see we're just hovering. It came down and touched the 55. Now we're just hovering at the 32. You know, this could be a 1-2, a 1-2 move, or a 3-4 move actually. Let's see, what does it look like here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be a 3-4 move on the Elliott wave. You start out here, come up here, come down here, come up there, and then if it's gonna maintain the requirements for fib, then we could see it come back down to there and then take off from there. And then typical targets up here, 618. So this is what could be happening. We could be in a 3 to 4 move here on the larger fib. The larger Elliott wave. So again, this is on the weekly, so this is big picture. This is going to take weeks to play out. The way I drew this out, if it actually somehow stays within this pitchfork, I kind of drew it. We're talking by May 31st, this downward trend will be over. So from that downward trend, it's going to come down to 19 from where it is now, which is 26. So 7-point move down. That'll be the 618 retrace from this latest one. Let's for the heck of it, let's check something real quick. That was a pretty big, deep retrace. Usually, if the first one is deep, the second one's shallow. So this is chances are we're not going to come down that low. We're not going to come down here, because usually on an Elliott wave, if the first one's deep, the second one's shallow. If the first one's shallow, second one's deep. They don't, unless the trend is weak. If this trend is strong, the second push usually doesn't come down that much. If it's becoming weaker, then it retraces further. So just something to consider when you're thinking about fib. So again, we're kind of in wait mode. There's certainly possibly lower level time frames here. This is getting very cluttered, so I'm going to remove a lot of this. Can't even see what's going on anymore. So let me just get rid of some of this stuff. So in the lower time frame, really what I'm saying here is, you want to see if it's going to stick to the upper traveling pitchfork in the bottom, and the decision point is going to be right here. This is going to be the decision to see which way price is going to go. If it passes this point right here, which is like in 5 days, if it starts breaking out upward, it's going to follow this upward pointing pitchfork. If it's not, it's going to follow the downward one, and then maybe it'll break down lower. So the patterns are set. Just gotta sit back and watch. It actually looks like it's breaking down further. So you gotta just continually come in and adjust and tweak. See, this trend line doesn't seem to be broken, but we're also down at the 1 hour. So on a higher time frame, this might come back and wick back in and stay in this trend line. So you really gotta wait until this candle closes on a higher time frame to see what's going on. Maybe even a daily, just to see if it's going to stay within there or if it's going to come out of it. So really, I guess the summary of all of this is there's no trades, there's no impending trades happening here. We're all kind of like in wait mode to see what the heck is the outcome here. With the stimulus money coming in, there should be a push higher as the money starts hitting the banks, and those that can afford start pushing the money into the exchanges. There should be a push into cryptos. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be Link. Chances are it's probably going to go into Bitcoin and Ethereum and maybe Cardano. But the 4 of these are, I guess you can call them kind of like blue chips that you want to have in your portfolio. So all 4 of these should benefit as the stimulus checks start happening and people look to start figuring out where they want to buy and what they want to buy. And most of them, for whatever reason, when they see a $60,000 or $50,000 coin, instead of just buying a fractional Bitcoin, they'd rather go to the lower price ones. So Link at 30, they may come in and buy Link, or Cardano at $1, they'll buy multiple dollar. They want quantity, and they don't realize that quantity is always not necessarily the answer, right? It's about how much the price can move, and the king in town is Bitcoin. I guess the queen in town is Ethereum right now, and the guy that's gonna come in on the Ides of March, the guy that's coming in to kill Julius Caesar, is going to be Cardano. Cardano down the road is going to be the guy that's probably going to take over Ethereum if Ethereum doesn't get its act together, with the gas fees and everything else that's going on. And they need to really speed up their roadmap to take action. Otherwise, I certainly see Cardano starting to gain market share. People getting fed up with the gas prices are going to, as Cardano starts coming to market with solutions faster, there might be a business case analysis done by these companies to say, okay, let's invest the time to do a Cardano solution. Maybe they already have a solution in Ether, but maybe they'll throw some resources at the Cardano solution in parallel, and then have a decision point to make down the road, which way to go based on the most return on investment, right? Or the business case analysis. So, I'm very sure that companies are considering that. Right now, I think Ethereum has a lot of institutional interest, and, they'll probably benefit from that. But I just heard today that Cardano has been added to the Bloomberg terminal. So, Bloomberg doesn't have all the cryptos listed, and that doesn't mean you can trade on there, but you can watch the price. So right now, I believe Bitcoin's on there, I believe Ethereum's on there, I believe Linkchain's on there, and now Cardano's on there. So these are all going to be in focus of big money, the Bloomberg terminal. So that's a big deal. Even though it's not an exchange, it still puts it in front of the big money to keep aware of what's going on. So that's there's a lot of benefit to that happening. All right, so anyway, that's it for the video. We're approaching about a half hour. I'm going to put some timestamps in here to kind of give you some direction to each one of these discussions I had, and then maybe one at the end just talking in general. Consider subscribing to my channel, like and share the video. Click the little bell if you want to be notified for more videos, and I will be continually coming back here maybe on a daily basis to summarize what's going on here. If there's anything immediate shaping up of importance, I'll do an independent video, but I think I'm going to try and do 4 at a time, and then just put some timestamps in the description so you guys can go to the individual cryptos. I think that'll work nice. There'll be less videos for me to pump out, and I'll take the time to do the timestamps instead. That way you can go and it's a 30-minute video, so 4 coins, probably 8 minutes each or so, and you can jump around and check it out. So I hope you like the content. Give me some feedback. Let me know if this is a good way to go about it. Again, there's nothing in particular for any of these for me to say. Just kind of come in and readjust and reset and kind of just sit back and see what's going on with this latest sell-off. Again, I'm not typically a bear, so I'm not necessarily looking for bearish trades here. So you could do that. You could play these breakouts on the negative side if that's your choice. But I'm just kind of showing you what I see, and I sit back and I wait for the bullish trades to happen. Bitcoin's kind of doing pretty good over here on at the 53. So I think 53 might be the base that we see here. All right, guys, take care. Until next time.